Hey, it's Valley, and today I'll be showing you my top 8 remote duel regional qualifying deck list from this past weekend. I managed to get 5th place at the event, going 7-1. I tied for 2nd, with there only being 1 defeated at the event. I decided to play a budget version of essentially the Din Kabui deck list from Birmingham. So we'll go ahead and talk about the deck list and go through it pretty quickly here, and then towards the end, I'll discuss the changes between that deck list and this one. So I played a basically completely standard Fire King list here. So I played 3 copies of the Garunix, 3 copies of Kieran, of course, 3 copies of Ulcanix, 3 copies of Ponix, and then the 1 Old Grunix and the 1 Arvarda. No changes here, it was perfect. Moving on, I played 3 copies of Ghost Ogre, which, to be honest, was probably my favorite hand trap of the event. She was really good overall. 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird, 1 of each of the Bistils, so I played 1 Baldrake, 1 Druistorm, and 1 Magnemite. I then played 2 copies of Nib and 3 copies of Imperm. For the spell cards, I played 3 Extrav, which was really, really good. I played 1 copy of Pot of Prosperity, played 2 copies of Fire King Skyburn, 2 Sanctuary, and 1 copy of Fire King Island. Moving on to the extra and side deck, I played 3 copies of Garunix, 1 copy of Typhon, and then the 1 Ryziel Detonator. For links, I played an Access Code, a Raging Phoenix, and Zelantis. I played 1 Princess. Talk about it later. I played 2 copies of Hida, 1 copy of Dark, 1 copy of SP, Almirage, and Relinquished Anima. Onto the side deck, I played 3 copies of Lancia, because Malice sucks. I played 3 copies of Chaos Hunter, because Malice sucks. And I played the 3rd Nib. And then I played 3 Metaltronus, 3 Judgment, and 2 copies of Light Imprisoning Mirror. So, as far as the changes between the YCS list and this, the most notable are in the side deck and extra deck, of course. If you noticed, I was only playing 1 copy of Princess. This was mostly unintentional. I unfortunately couldn't get 2 copies of Princess before the event. I just couldn't find any, and no one in my area had any. So I was only able to play 1, so I opted to play the Fire OTK package because I already owned 1. So I was like, okay, that'll fill out the rest of the deck list. I did end up making the OTK package once against one of the Blue Eyes opponents I played against, but to be honest, I probably could have just won that event with Princess on its own because it's just that powerful of a card. So I do not think this is worth playing. I think you should just play 3 Princesses. As far as conflicting with Extrav, only playing 1, thankfully, I got a bit lucky where I think 1 time I wanted to make Princess and it was banished, but every other time it was in my extra deck, thankfully. As far as other weird things, I played Access Code and Detonator. The intention behind these were, of course, the Metaltronus targets. Detonator I did use twice against the Ryziel opponent, and it was very good both times. Arguably won me that game. Both of those games, actually. As far as the Access Code talker, it was a bad call by me. The idea behind this was that if you see your opponents on a shifter version of the Malice deck, you side out the Ogres for the 3 Metaltronus, and then the Access Code is your Metaltronus target. That's just kind of stupid, to be honest. I should have just played Delina, as Delina did come up against one of my Ryziel opponents, and I wish I had it. So I should have played Lina in that space. Other than that, it was fine. I didn't banish the Typhon or the Princess really at all, like I said, off of Extrav. So thankfully, I got a little bit lucky in that regard for not playing multiples of those. As far as the side deck goes, the bit weird ones are obviously the Light Imprisoning Mirrors. The intention behind this was against Fiendsmith Ryziel, which is a deck I personally struggle with. I did play against that matchup, didn't see this card, unfortunately. The other deck is obviously Blue Eyes. It can turn off Maiden, it can turn off the extra deck Link 1, which is enough to at least slow them down to where they really don't have much once they get in the grind game. So this card did win me at least 2 games against Blue Eyes, which was pretty strong. As far as Metaltronus, to be honest, every time I needed it, I had the targets in extra deck, thankfully. Even if I did Extrav, it was never an issue conflicting with the Pot of Extravagance. Generally, it's the Ryziel deck that I want to see it against. So you have Garunix Eternity, even if you do banish the Detonator, because this can target Detonator as it's a 3k Pyro. Anyway, so as far as the matchups went, I played against 3 Ryziel at the event, 2 of them being Pier, 1 of them being Fiendsmith. I played against 2 Primite Blue Eyes, 1 Crystron, and in the final round, I played against a branded opponent. My first round, which is the one we haven't covered yet, was actually a bye, as I had a no-show, which I was kind of thankful for, but that's fine overall. I didn't play against any Malice opponents, most notably, so I think because I'm not on Dominus Impulse, as I couldn't play that card, I was a bit thankful for that because that card's kind of important for that matchup, along with, of course, your massive blowout cards like the Chaos Hunter and Lancia. So I didn't play against that, which was also a bit lucky, I won't lie. Yeah, that's my first top 8 performance in a regional I've ever done, so I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be able to give you guys this deck list. And yeah, that'll be from me for today. I hope you guys will check me out on twitch.tv/ItzVali with 3 Z's. I'll also link it in the description. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!